Welcome to News Channel 8. I'm Essie Gaston Edwards in for Junior Garcia. Here are some of the stories we have for you tonight. Government workers' health insurance hangs balance. Police recover stolen items from an armed robbery. And meet Ms. VIPR Friendship Queen. These stories and more up next on News Channel 8.
News Channel 8 is brought to you by Omega XL. Experience Larry King's breakthrough secret to joint pain relief, Omega XL. To order or find out more information, call 1-800-298-1647 or check us out at asseenonchanel8.com.
In tonight's top story, Governor John P.D. Young Jr. voiced his concern on the issue of the inability of the Government Employees Services Commission Health Insurance Board to negotiate a timely contract for health insurance coverage for active government employees.
As of yesterday, when I left the office, which I left last evening, I still had not yet received a contract or to consider from the Health Insurance Board, and that's one of the things that I was glad that came out of the hearing the other evening when the Health Insurance Board members, along with Director Herman, appeared before the Committee on the Whole, because there's been quite a bit of back and forth between the Health Insurance Board and myself, and now the involvement of the Senate with respect to the health insurance contract for government employees that expires on at the end of this month. And clearly, no one wants to put that coverage at risk. If anything, health insurance is one of the major areas that we need to preserve as much as we possibly can, and something we've extremely dedicated to, as shown by our recent submission of some legislation to deal with our health facilities, Louise Schneider, and also our Medicaid program overall. But again, the fact of the matter is we've not received it, and what the board is proposing far exceeds what we're able to afford this year. And we've been very clear with them that while we adhere to having the best plan available for government employees and their dependents, and under no circumstances want to put their health care at risk, the ability to pay is something that we can't separate. They can't go and negotiate a contract that completely ignores the financial realities. And we've been very clear with them since June 23rd, and I followed up in a letter in early August outlining that they needed to negotiate a contract within those parameters. And the negotiation falls directly on them. You know, they've taken a position publicly that the executive, and particularly the governor, should be excluded from the process of reviewing the health insurance contract, but that's unrealistic. To the extent that one can separate the government from knowing what its employees' coverage is, and at the same time the entity that has to pay should be excluded from negotiations, just is not consistent with best practices, nor is it financially responsible.
Meanwhile, police on St. Croix were able to recover items that were stolen in an armed robbery that occurred at Queen Cross Street in Christiansted. Here is VIPD spokeswoman Melody Rames with the details.
Police were able to immediately recover all items that were stolen in an armed robbery that occurred on September 24th on Queen Cross Street in Christiansted. Police were dispatched to the scene just minutes before 10 p.m. that evening. Witnesses said two male suspects dressed in dark clothing robbed two females of their handbags and other items. The victims were at their parked car putting some items in the trunk when one suspect approached them from behind and stuck a hard object, which the victim suspected was a gun, in her side and demanded her belongings. The victim and the suspect struggled for the bag, but the suspect grabbed the bag and began running in the direction of the public library. Some concerned citizens ran after the suspect and were able to retrieve one of the bags he stole. While that suspect ran, concerned citizens detained another male individual who was in the immediate area of the robbery until police arrived. Detectives said that person was not arrested at that time. Officers canvassed the area and were able to retrieve the rest of the stolen items, including jewelry, cash, personal documents, and a laptop computer in the vicinity of the government parking lot and the surrounding area. Police are still searching for the suspect who ran. This case continues to be under active investigation by the Criminal Investigation Bureau detectives.
In other news, Senator Kenneth Gittens spoke on the recent override of the pension bill.
Let me make clear that this is a matter of principle, not personality. The measure passed to grant lucrative pensions to deceased governor spouses is ill-considered and should never have occurred given our territory's severe financial condition. I look forward to working with my colleagues on any measure that will be fair and equitable and allow future governors and lieutenant governors or even elected officials to make contributions to a system that will allow for them to provide spousal benefits to their spouses following their passing.
Stay with us. We have more news coming up next.
This is News Channel 8. This is News Channel 8.
Welcome back to News Channel 8. Residents have been asking, why is fogging bad? Well, tonight, the Department of Health answers that question.
I would like to know from you guys why, and tell us why, that you all cannot spray outside.
I think they need to fog. My opinion is this, and I is a chemical guy. I just not the ordinary person on the block. They changed, when I was growing up, what they used to use to spray with, they changed for me. I think what they need to do is go down to environmental, downstairs, and speak to the guys in the environmental who does the work, the footwork. And they will find out that what they're talking about spraying ain't really true.
The chemical that they were using, I believe, was DDT?
No.
Okay, good. Because during that time when you were growing up, that's what they were using in the States. And when they used that in the States, they had an entire summer where no birds were flying, where no birds were singing. Children were being born with birth defects. So this is something that you would not know from the first dispersal of the spray, but rather long term. And poison builds. You know, as generations increase, you know, the defects will be evident. So what we want to do here at the Department of Health is complete our mandate, which is to minimize the health risk of exposing our population to poisons that can be in pesticides. Now think of this, if you look at the cost-benefit analysis of this, would you want to expose yourself to a chemical that is toxic and can potentially give you birth defects in your children if this is not a deadly virus? This virus is harmful, this virus is hurtful, and it can definitely debilitate people. But we definitely don't want to increase the health risk and with the chemical that we're using and continue to spray. Have we been doing our research and finding ultra low volumes of chemicals that could be used? Yes, we have. And we have one option that is very costly, and it won't even really make an impact on the mosquito we're talking about, because before we do any kind of consideration in regards to pesticides, we need to start within our own homes, our own backyards, and that's what we're doing right now with this outreach activity. We're trying to make sure that as citizens, we feel empowered enough to stop the problem at the source. Because no matter how much they spray outside, if your home is a breeding ground for roaches, rats, or ants, this is just an example, because this is what the mosquito is becoming to our community. It is becoming a pest that is transmitting diseases similar to what rodents and roaches have done. We cannot go into your home and fog for roaches or fog for ants. Same thing with mosquitoes. So we need to have it in our minds that if we have a breeding problem in our home, we need to solve that problem first before we rely on what's happening in the streets. Because again, number one, the Aedes aegypti mosquito does not breed outside. It's not an outside mosquito, it's in your home. Second of all, the mosquitoes that are gonna be sprayed are gonna be deterred from outside and into your home. So why would you make your home a base for those mosquitoes that are being sprayed inside to come in? And why wouldn't you wanna take the first step, which is stopping the source? And sometimes the source of the problem is actually under your own roof. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we empower the community first so that we get rid of that major issue, and then go forward with any other solutions we can find. But we have been doing our research, and we have looked at the ULV aerial spraying, and that is something that is a deep consideration. It costs a lot of money, but it's something that we'll rather take the cost of that and have less of a health risk than worry about the health risk for further generations. That's what the department here is to do, to protect your health.
Fight the fight! The VIPR Friendship Committee was on Straight Talk radio show with their reigning queen to discuss their activities for the month of October. Let's take a look.
I was the chairperson for the pageant committee.
Yeah.
On the VIPR committee, actually. My co-chair was Miss Andrea Christian. The pageant was on August 24th. You want to take certain things out of pageantry, and it's not only, okay, I'm pretty and I could walk across the stage, but I think it should also be a learning experience. It helps with communication skills.
Poise,
development.
Right.
Yeah, and it helps to build a lot of character as well. So.
Even when you lose.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And you really didn't lose. You're a winner as well.
Exactly. And I always feel that no experience should be a negative experience. We should all take something from it.
Right.
So that's always my, my take on a situation. That's usually what I always preach to the young ladies, and, just have some fun with it. So I felt like the pageant, we need to concentrate on helping these girls to learn something a little more than just saying, okay, I'm going to run for a pageant. But I think each pageant should always have kind of like a theme or underlining learned lesson there. So that was my goal.
I have ran in previous pageants before this one, and I did not win.
You didn't?
But I gained a lot of different... I gained stuff that I could use in daily life. It's a learning experience for me because I do not know a lot of Spanish.
Yes.
So looking at this pageant when I first joined was like, wow, I'm really out of my comfort zone because I'm thinking I need to learn a lot of Spanish to be in this. And then I realized that this is not really about how much Spanish you speak, but it's more about how you know the culture.
Sure.
Because I am the representative of two cultures, which is the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And basically how I present those two cultures.
Ms. Mercado could tell you because she's been doing it for the last 2 years, and every year it's been a challenge to get some of the girls to come out to participate.
Yes.
And, you would figure, being that this is the 50th year of the Virgin Islands Puerto Rico friendship, you didn't know that, did you?
No, I did know it. I learned it the other night when I was...
No, it is the 50th year, and it's very important. But, to be honest with you, this is the most challenging year for us because I'm part of the committee as a liaison between the governor and the VIPR committee.
What was the challenge?
The funding is challenged. Funding is very much a challenge. I mean, as much... The VIPR friendship celebrations have, it's going to be celebrated. It's going to be celebrated in grand style, no matter how much funding that this committee has. But a lot of the festivities have cut down. There was one time when there was like 3 days of village. Now it's only one.
Yep.
But it's still going to be great, and we're going to be represented again by the Queen, Miss St. John, and Miss Mercado has done a wonderful job putting together these pageants. And as far as the committee is concerned, which is led by Miss Carol McGregor and Miss Annie Velez. It's a committee that has persevered. It's a thankless position. Populov Jr. he's always involved. It's thankless. You don't get any money for it. You don't get paid. Because not everything involves getting paid anyway.
Sure. It's a mission of love.
Exactly. So, you have to commend the work that they have done for the last few months, and they've been meeting for for the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Right.
Meeting for the beginning of the year, trying to put this thing together. It's coming close, of course, in October. Friendship Weekend will be over with. But as far as I'm concerned, they have done a tremendous job, and you have to commend them for what they've done so far.
Stay tuned for more news after this.
This newscast has been sponsored by Mario's Virgin Crystal. Let us save you the hassle of lugging those jugs around. Purified bottled water conveniently delivered to your home or office. Also available in your favorite grocery store. Call 773-2810.
This is News Channel 8. This is News Channel 8.
Finally tonight, here is David the Firewalker with this weekend's Firewalk.
Firewalkers, are you ready? Sunday 28th, we're going on a hike and it's free. Starting from Carambola Guard Boot to the tide pool and back to Carambola Guard Boot. Which Carambola Guard Boot? The one by the hotel. But this is a hike. Remember, all hikes start at 6 a.m. So be there at 5:30, 5:45, and we leave exactly 6 a.m. sharp. Remember to walk with at least one bottle of water, and we don't have no bus for this hike. So you have to be there before 6 o'clock, and it's a 2 miles walk in and a 2 miles walk out. Remember, This is a hike. You need to be there. Come and check out our local tide pool. See the chicken them they walking? You could imagine, look what that one they just start running. What are you doing? You need to come out and start walking with the firewalkers. Remember, it's good for your high blood pressure, your cholesterol, diabetes, most of all, stress. Yes, I'm talking to you in the couch, not on the right-hand side, the one on the left-hand side. You I talking to. Look at our local chicken walking. You need to walk.
Your weather forecast is up next.
Your weather coming up next. Your weather.
And now it's time for your weather forecast.
Tonight, periods of showers and possibly a thunderstorm. Low around 80, southeast wind 7 to 9 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation is 80%. New rainfall amounts between a quarter and half of an inch possible. Saturday, periods of showers and possibly a thunderstorm. High near 88. Heat index values as high as 98. Southeast wind 6 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation is 80%. New rainfall amounts between a quarter and half of an inch possible. Saturday night, scattered showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy with a low around 80, southeast wind around 10 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation is 40%. New rainfall amounts between a tenth and quarter of an inch, except higher amounts possible in thunderstorms. Sunday, scattered showers and thunderstorms before noon, then isolated showers, partly sunny with a high near 87. East-southeast wind 9 to 13 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation is 30%. New rainfall amounts of less than a tenth of an inch, except higher amounts possible in thunderstorms. Sunday night, isolated showers, partly cloudy with a low around 81. East-southeast wind 10 to 13 miles per hour. Monday, isolated showers, mostly sunny with a high near 89. East-southeast wind around 11 miles per hour. And Monday night, scattered showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy with a low around 82. East wind around 9 miles per hour. This was your Channel 8 weather report.
Well, that concludes the news broadcast we have for you this evening. From all of us here at News Channel 8, I'm Essie Gaston Edwards. World News is up next. Thank you for joining us, and good night.
News Channel 8 is brought to you by Omega XL. Experience Larry King's breakthrough secret to joint pain relief, Omega XL. To order or find out more information, call 1-800-298-1647 or check us out at asseenonchanel8.com.